Hello, my Teaserking family, back again. I had to take that Teams meeting, and now I'm back. So it'd be nice. We're waiting for Bobby and Luke and the boys to come on back. So I will be waiting. Um, Again, our baseball picks for today were we had Cleveland, 2 units, Kansas City, the big lock, 7 units, the Cubbies under 8, 3 units, and there was only 5 games. So that's what we got. Interview tomorrow is at DTE Energy. Hey, Luke, how are you? I think Bobby should be joining. I was shocked. He just said he had trouble with YouTube. I guess they locked him out for a month or so, and he couldn't get on. Don't know what happened. Real D. Probably not Real D. There's not much to watch. It's a bunch of third stringers. Well, this was the team's meeting I had was with the contract house, preparing me for what DT is looking for and just going over certain questions and like, what should I wear? She said, just wear a dress shirt. You don't need to wear a tie unless you want to. And just things. It's tomorrow morning, 9:30, and I got to be more stoic. I get a little bit wordy, as we all know, but in an interview, I got to be careful and keep it 2 minutes. And then, and we have our game plan is at the end, did I answer all your questions, or do you have any other questions about it? And then they can come back with it. But really, the betting Texans first half, you think that's a good bet? Well, you're betting on third stringers. The only way I would bet this game, Real D, is bet the under. I mean, Green Bay, Chicago doesn't even have a quarterback, right? Looking at their reserves, they're crap. And Houston's quarterbacks aren't any better. And again, how long are each quarterback going to be in? They're not trying. Four-string defense. So the only way I could play this game is on under. Maybe I play Houston because their backups are better than Chicago's, and they're all afraid to get injured, and Caleb's not. He might get injured. Poor Caleb. So how do you bet on four? It's like betting these pitchers, the bullpen days. How do you bet it? Or the guy who's 2-9 with a 5 ERA. You want to bet him? That's what you're doing tonight. You're betting the 2-9 guy with the 5 ERA. And, I don't know. Bet on Kansas City over Detroit. I'd rather have you bet Kansas City over Detroit's a 7-unit than bet on this shit, this football. But I understand. I bet very small. There's no who you betting on, and then do you want to lose with these four stringers? And that's kind of my point. The only place I would bet preseason is when the, maybe Hartman and Daniels are going at it in Washington. You're going to get Daniels the first quarter and Hartman the second and third. Then I would bet it. So when you get that, maybe Pittsburgh will have Russell Wilson a quarter and then Fields for 2 quarters. Then I would bet those type of games. And watch out. Baltimore always plays in the preseason, and Kansas City, Mahomes played in the preseason last year. He'd play the first quarter, so keep an eye on that. Bet against the Lions because they're not going to play there. Well, I'd like to see Hooker. So if the Lions play Hooker, then you can maybe bet Detroit because he's really the better quarterback. But outside of that, like today, you got to be kidding me. So it's really hard to play third and fourth stringers. But, if you want to play some action, again, I'd bet on Kansas City baseball over the Tigers. Seth Lugo, 11-2 with a 2 ERA against Maeda, who's 2-6 with a 6 ERA. You're not going to find a better bet tonight than that one. The Cubs under 8, they got 2 good pitchers going there. But again, once you hit the 5th, 6th inning, you're at the mercy of the bullpen. We only have 5 games. There's no There's no Philadelphia. We can't bet the Yankees over. I've been betting the Yankees over every day. Um, Oakland's cooled down. They were scoring a lot of runs. Now they're not. Uh, Baltimore's hot. Houston's hot. Houston's really making a move. They're now, I think, in first place in their division. The Tigers are fading away with all because Riley Green's out and all their 230, 240 hitters. I hate when they talk OPS. Oh, his OPS is 600. Was that good? I mean, it's not batting average, it's OPS. But then you look at the guy and he's hitting 240. Well, what's so good about that? Well, that's why we're not talking batting average, because we can make it sound like an OPS is more important than a batting average. Anyway, so that's what we have with that. But it's a bunch of junk, the OPS crap. I think what it is OPS is just of your hits, how many are extra base hits? I think it's totally misleading. Are you hitting 300? No, I'm hitting 220. But of my hits, the extra base hits are there. So I'm either hitting home runs and doubles or I'm striking out. Well, what's your batting average? 220. I don't give a fuck what your OPS is. You're never going to get on. You have of your 10 hits, 9 are home runs. So your OPS is 900, but you only get the hit every 10th time up. Like, these people are looking at the wrong thing. Anyway, what's going on, Luke? The gold, where's our gold at? That's the thing with gold. It keeps going. 24.46. It's 6 o'clock. That's a nice number. So you can see how we got the big rise today at about 6:30, and it went all the way from 24.32 to 24.59. But because it's derivatives, it doesn't stay there. See, that's why it's not free market. In a free market, if it went from 24.32 to 24.59, it wouldn't go back down to 24.36. It would keep going because the demand's driving the price up. But that's what's so phony about the derivatives. Silver at 28.53. So we're doing all right. Got smashed today with my mining stocks. And you got to be careful with them, Luke. I'm warning you. Just ride gold. Just ride it. It's 24.46. We know it's going to 3,000. And then once October hits and we're on the gold back currency with BRICS, they've got to reprice it. My guess is 10 grand. They might not do it at 10 grand, but the higher the price, the more they can print. And you're dealing with China and India, with all those people, you got to print a lot of money. So it won't be 3 grand. Maybe it's 5, but more than likely it's probably going to be 10. But, I'm just guessing because you got a couple billion people in India and China. Although China's crashing, as I showed you, all the China stuff. So we've got 80% of foreigners have left Shanghai because they're getting out before the communist government steals their money and puts them in jail. You've got card with huge savings in China, limited transfer amount, unpaid loans, banks are broke. So the banks loaned the money to Evergrande, the company that built the houses, and they did a scam and they didn't build them and they don't have the money and they can't pay back the loans. So the banks are broke because the way the banks work, you give them 100,000, they give you 4%. But where do they get the 4% from? They take your 100 grand and loan it to Evergrande at 7%. And so they get paid back 7% and take 3% for themselves and give you your 4% for your savings. That's how a bank works. However, if the Evergrande doesn't give them the 7%, they can't give you the 4%. And that's why banks go under. They don't have the money. They don't get the Evergrande money. And that's what's collapsing is Evergrande's bankrupt. They're not paying So these banks are all fucked. I didn't get the 7% from Evergrande to give Luke your 4% on your 100,000. Sorry, we're not paying you, and that's what happens. China's luxury home and car market are top tycoons are fleeing, and it's crashing. So all the high end stuff, the $1 million apartments they can't sell them. So some guy wants 3 million for his apartment, he can't get it. He can't get 2 million. He can't get 1 million. They're all losing their ass. Next thing that happens is they start pulling their money from the U.S. stock market and any houses they have here because they're millionaires. They probably stash their money here. Well, now they need it. They can't. They're not getting the money back in China. What do? They come take the money from here, which causes the stock market to crash and the housing market to crash and the banks to crash. China out of money forces the military to tighten belts. So all these guys in the military aren't getting paid, or they're getting paid 50%. China's private sector doomed. China private doomsday, 30 years wealth seized. These are machinery and equipment factories that are all going broke. They don't have orders, and they have the debt on the machinery and tooling, and they can't make sales because they can't sell it. They can't make anything. You can see the whole domino snowball effect. China's fucked. Don't think it ain't coming here. All right. 40 banks vanish in a week. China on collapse brink. 40 banks vanish in a week. So beyond how China's economy is beyond fixing, China's housing price doom, no buyers at $2,000 homes. This is for not the luxury ones. Money deposit in the bank is evaporated, $400,000 deposits, $6 billion savings gone. So China's fucked. They're lucky they have gold, but that's their only way. You're not interested in China? So that's really the problem. So it's all going to come back here. It's a domino effect. Thank God Russia's not bad. Russia's economy is actually very good because Putin's smart and he's got 20,000 tons of gold. China's got 60,000 tons of gold. Why they're not using it, I don't know. That should be a no-brainer. Maybe it's waiting for the BRICS currency, but you can see China definitely needs the gold-backed currency. Bobby, where are you? I'll give you another 10 minutes and then I'll go. But that's where we're at. So my interview's at 9. We'll see there. I'll get Jenna a visa to come here. Says I need a visa. Says go get it. Let me know what it is. I remember Carmen came here from Romania. It was like $70 or something for the visa, and she can come as a refugee, and then just buy her the plane ticket. Which instead of me going there, because it's stupid. I meet her for a week, like we met in Barcelona, and then after the week, so she's going to come here and live here for a while, and she won't want to leave. I'll take her to Vegas, maybe Chicago, although I don't know how dangerous. We won't go to New York. That's a problem. Maybe to Florida, but I'll take her to Cedar Point and up north here, Lake Michigan. She'll like that. So we'll take some of these vacations, and of course, not working. And then she'll finally come and I'll be working. The work days at DTE, if I get it, are 2 days, Monday and Friday remote, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday would be in the office. So theoretically, Thursday night we could go up north, and then I could just work from up north Friday while she's on the beach, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, and then come home Monday night. So we can do that. That's the problem. I do want to take a vacation, so we'll see. I guess the person in the job is moving on, so they'll need somebody quickly. I'll try not to be too wordy. So that's the problem in an interview. You're trying to prove yourself. So you interview and you say, well, I did this and like me talking like economics, right? Well, gold, but because the money's printed, like you got to get to the explanation. Because of the inflation, the money loses value, but gold they can't print. So gold, and how do you say that in 2 minutes? It's a little bit difficult, but you need to tell the story, and that's where the interview gets a little bit. You only got 2 minutes, not 10 minutes to tell the story. Give me an example. Well, okay. And usually I'm talking too much, setting up and the example. So I got to get a little smarter at that. Anyway. So we will see. At least it's an interview. I've been applied to Hurley again, which is a good sign. Because I kind of pissed them off at the end. I said, I thought this was a year contract. What do you mean 5 months? And I was upsetting the boss a little bit. I go, but I got a contract that says 1 year. What are you doing? And then it came out, well, it was always a 5-month contract. But if we said 5 months, we didn't think we'd get anybody. So by saying a year, then we could hire you, but we'll just make it 5 months. I'm like, that's kind of deceiving. I said, you could have just been honest, said, look, it's a 5-month contract. And I'd say, fine. But then I'll start looking after 3 months for another job instead of thinking I'm there for a year. Anyway, this will be good. If I get this job, then I can be back and take some money out of the safe to buy more gold, and that'll be good. While it's waiting for me at 2,400, I can still get quarter ounces under 700. Let's take a look at that. So 2,450 basically. Let's see what gold's going for. Half ounce up to 1336. I just refreshed. Here's a maple leaf going for 25.55. Love it. Our Cougaran going for 25.38. Love it. Here's a quarter ounce, 7.58. Loving it. Our favorite, where's Bobby? Our Philharmonic, quarter ounce, 6.67. Doesn't seem right. Half ounce Eagle, 13.48. Quarter ounce, 6.91. That's more. I don't know why that other one's more expensive. So it's roughly about 700 for the quarter ounce. Tenth of an ounce is 285 and 275. Quarter ounce Cougaran, 664. Quarter ounce Eagle, 683. Mickey, 72,000 still. And here you go. Here's our Rolex Sky Dweller, 820,000. I thought it was $1 million, so it's coming down to 820,000. Fucking Rolex, 820,000 and gold's 2,000. Yeah, it seems right. I'm looking for our 1 ounce Eagle. The Brady rookies, 6 million, the 10 count. Here's a Rolex Daytona, 527,000. Used, you get it right away. New, you got to wait a year. That's why the used have a value. 1 ounce Maple Leaf, 25.42. Here we go. So the 1 ounce Maple Leaf, 25.42. The 1 ounce Eagle, 25.72. So it's about $20 more. But the thing you got to realize is you pay $30 less when you buy it. So by doing that, uh, when you get a little bit less on the other end, well, you didn't pay as much either. So it kind of washes out. I paid 30 less. I go to sell it. I get 30 less, but it all fits. The tenth of an ounce Cougaran, 269, a quarter ounce, 687. So about 700 for the quarter ounces. Half ounce Cougaran, 1298, 1300. Quarter ounce Maple Leaf, 682. So figure the quarter ounce, 675, 700. Here's a silver 3660. It's a round 3666. Quarter ounce Maple Leaf 680, we know. Here's another Rolex 22,000. Oh, there's a steal at 22,000. 36 golden palm with diamonds. Nice looking fucking watch there. These are the counterfeit ones. As I said, anytime if silver's like $35 an ounce, times 5 is $175. Why the fuck would anybody sell this for 122 unless it isn't real? So just look at the price. If it isn't a normal price, it isn't real. And our last one, the 1 ounce gold legal, but it's already ended at 24.89. So that's why I refreshed. So this is an older one. Got smashed today with my mining stocks. Don't worry about today. Why do you care to look at the gold price when you know it's derivative? Well, because I know it. I just want to see what's happening. I don't really care about it. I'm just seeing where it's at. So when it goes up to 2,400, then I know how to price the coins. So I know what to pay for them when I buy them. Knowing their derivatives, I know where the price is headed, but I know the game. So I'm just looking at what's going on now, and I can still see it at 24.42. It's more for you guys so you can see where it's at. But yeah, we know it's going way up and we're just waiting for it. But just curiosity to see what's going on in the derivative field. But don't really, like I say, I don't really care because I know it's not a real price. Like silver, you're bringing up, oh, it's not going up. But see, in your case, playing the miners, you're kind of at the mercy of the derivatives because how do they price their inventory? They're looking at the derivatives for the inventory on gold and silver instead of what they believe it's really worth. So because we don't really have that, what are they doing? Oh, they're pricing gold at $1,700. Why? It's 10,000 an ounce, but they can't price it there because of the derivatives. So it really affects your mining stocks, really. And then we know what the coins are. So it's looking at it to see what's going on, but we know it's phony baloney. We know it's price fixed. So we're just kind of saying, but not. We understand it's derivatives. It's a lot to help you guys because you guys look at it thinking that's the real price. So I'm really trying to tell you it's not the real price, but it's the price we have now until they get a fucking physical price thing, which is what the Shanghai is trying to do is get a physical, but they keep using the paper and then premium instead of just saying what the fuck's it worth. So that's all. But I know it's not real. But I see what I can buy it for. So if I get this job soon, I can go to my gold store and I'll see, hey, it's 24.50. I can buy it for 25 if I want to buy an ounce or two. And that's all. That's just good. It's going up. I'm happy it's going up. So that's why. Anyway, good question though. But yeah, I mean, it's like watching the football game tonight. I don't care. I don't have a bet on it. But I'll look at the box score. But if Caleb's not playing, I won't see his 3 interceptions. So, you just like to see what's happening. You just want to analyze it. But I do a lot of that in football. Look at the box scores. Now, I don't bet all the games, but the games I do bet I look at like the Tiger game tonight. I'll look at the box score. Why? The game here, it's KC won 10-0. Why do I want to see the box score? Well, I just want to get the data. So there's a lot of analytical I do. So just seeing what's happening, seeing when COMEX is breaking. So when I don't see the knockdowns in COMEX, then the price should start going to the moon and we can prepare for it. But it's like you're saying, well, we hit the iceberg on the Titanic. Why do you keep looking at the water coming in? Yeah, it's true. We know it's there. We're on the lifeboat, and we just want to see the water go into the boat. I mean, so you're asking, why do you want to see the water go in the boat? I'm going, yeah, because I like to see it. But I really don't. In the long run, I know the price is not close to reality, but I like to see how the market's behaving. Bobby Bo, where did you go? I was hoping Bobby would come back. Probably eating dinner. So what he said, Luke, was he was having problems with YouTube. He couldn't get on for a month. So he doesn't take my email, so he could email us and say, here it is. But he said he did watch the videos, or not all of them, but I'm sure a lot of them. And so it was good to see. I was shocked. I was like, Bobby Bo, I remember you. So anyway, that's what's good. So what else? Anything else, Luke? Yeah, see, this is the problem that I'm warning you about with the stocks. They're going to crash. And that's why I think you're overexposed with 80,000 in the stocks. I think I'd rather have you taken the 6.5% out and bought gold with it than watch your stock drop. Why is it dropping? Because they're dumping the Chinese people, and it's going to be Japan and Germany and everything else are going to they're going to lose their money in the market. That's why I'm showing you China. This is happening in China. Believe me, it's going to happen if it's not already in Germany, Italy, France, England, and the rest of those clowns who are running with fiat money that's inflation. And so what happens is, as they are losing value on their houses, like China, they're going to need money where, oh, my money's in the US stock market. I'm going to sell my stock because I need the money, which is going to cause the stock market to drop. That's the problem, why I don't want you in the stock market. Gold is not going to drop because it's protected by bricks. So it's sort of like we're playing chess, and we have our pawn protecting our queen, but the bishop's in trouble. And so that's what I'm trying to stay with the protection. You got the queen protected, you're great. That's why I'm saying don't do that. Yeah, I'm glad he's back too. I told him I thought he was sick or something because he was complaining of his cholesterol and stuff. I used to never have any physical, only mining stocks. I took 200K and shifted it physical, but still believe mining stocks will go up higher with the rise in price. I understand. I get it. Absolutely. But you do have the risk of the stocks dropping first from the example I just gave you, right? My house is losing money and I'm going to take a loss on it. And my money's in stocks or banks in the US because they don't trust the stock market in Europe or the stock market in China or Japan. They don't trust the stock markets. They know the government fucks it up. So they go to the US for safe haven. But now that the US has the debt and everything else, and China's now going to return a bunch of T-bills to get gold because they're losing their ass. They'll start pulling their money. They'll sell their stocks to get money. That's what I'm afraid of. On one hand, you're right. The gold price will go up. Gold price is up today, but you're down 6.5%. That's my example. Why are the gold stocks down? The gold's even or up 2% or whatever, why are my stocks down? Because they're dumping stocks to get money. Nobody's selling gold to get money. Gold is the money. So they're dumping to buy gold, right? Why? But again, because it's a price fixed by the banks, JP Morgan's price fixing the gold and silver, you don't see the price of gold and silver go up, but the buying is there. That's the point. That's why it's critical you understand its derivatives. So you know, oh, it's not nobody selling gold. It's simply the derivative game, which is ending very soon, and then the gold just runs. But will the stocks run? And that's where we're conflicting. I'm worried that the stocks are going to crash and they'll dump them all. They need money. So these people in China who have money in the U.S. stock market, they don't give a fuck that it's gold stocks or silver stocks or GM and Ford or Coca-Cola or Berkshire Hathaway. Sell. Yeah, I need money. Just sell. That's what I'm pointing out. Therefore, it won't matter what stock it is. It looks like stocks fell because of earnings, because they're not priced right, right? Hey, Greg and John. Yes, the earnings affect the stock price, but that's where we differ with gold. There is no earnings. You don't have to worry about earnings. You don't have to worry. They can't print anymore. What's printed is how much gold is out is how much 255,000 tons is out. That's it. You're not going to all of a sudden be 300,000 tons. 255, that's all they've dug up. So that's all you're getting. So you're not going to get an earnings surprise, but you do in stocks. Now, I think their costs are up because of the inflation. But what you're saying, and I agree with, is but the gold price, they're not raising the gold price up because it's stuck by the derivatives. So you're not the gold price in Comet and these mines should be 2,500, should be 3,000, but it's probably 1,500 or 1,600 as their costs go up, and then the environmental crap from all these liberals ends up where the costs are going up, the gold price is going up, but they're not recognizing it, so they're still here. So their earnings are down. How the hell is the stock going to go up? You're anticipating the higher gold price, as I agree with. When it hits 3,000, are they going to put it on their books at 3,000? Probably not. That's one of the problems. Now, when it hits 10 grand, it should be on their books at 9,500, right? That's when you really will start. But in the beginning, you're going to, the stocks are going to get crushed because these Chinese and wealthy Germans and everything are going to sell their stocks because they are going to need money because their house value is dropping. That's the problem. So that's why they sell. They just blindly sell my stocks. I need 200 grand. And so they'll just sell whatever, all the stocks. That's why your gold stocks are going to be not. That's why I'm saying wait for that to happen. Then go back into it when it's calmed down. And then now here comes the stocks are they're great value now. They've went down. But I wouldn't hold the stocks now. Like I said, I do not own a stock. Bobby Boat made an appearance. I was expecting him to come back, but we'll see. He probably had dinner and a hot date. I assume the price to mine has gone way higher because of higher inflation. Well, and if they needed, did they need capital? So in other words, if they needed a big drill and a big thing to dig the dirt up and go through the process of getting the gold out, I'm sure, yes. I mean, everything for them, if they wanted machinery and equipment, yeah, there's probably not a lot of substitute they can do if they needed new stuff. And with interest rates higher, yeah, they're in trouble. They need the higher gold price. So that's the problem. So you're kind of, especially if they're marking earnings, if there's an earnings drop, you're fucked because nobody's going to buy them. So by the time the gold price goes up, however, if you bought 10 ounces of gold for your $80,000, those are going up, and they can't go down, and there's no earnings to worry about. There's no cost to worry about. It's fucking gold. So when it goes up, just enjoy it, as Bobby does, sleep on it, and then you could sell it to buy stocks if you want. But keep in mind, you don't own the stocks. The stocks are not owned by you. Even though you have 1,000 shares of Newmont Mining, it's not yours. And they could easily take it from you, because as the stocks drop, they're losing their ass. You can say, well, wait, Luke's got 1,000 shares of Newmont Mining. I'm going to take it. I need it, Luke. Sorry. Because you don't own it. They do. Just like the banks. That money in the bank is not yours. It's got your name on it, but if the bank needs the money, you ain't getting it. And that's what I keep showing you in China. The banks are stealing the money. They're not letting them withdraw it, or very limited $100 a day type of things. They can't pay for tuition and all this shit. So the banks, that's why I'm showing you China, because it's coming here and you know it. And that's the problem I'm having. And that's the warning I'm giving you. Do you really want to take that risk when you have no risk in physical gold? That's the message. And to me, I'm in physical gold and not in stocks. Who are you taking tonight? Luke, how are you? Good, Greg, except my Pirates lost a close one to Houston last night. Well, I had Houston, so I was happy. I'm taking Houston tonight. No comment, Greg or John. Anybody that bets on four-string quarterbacks and exhibition, I can't help. Regular season, I can help you in class, but not. I do not bet exhibition, because it's like betting on a pitcher who's 5-12 with a 6 ERA. You want to bet on him? That's what you're doing tonight. So I have no comment on exhibition. Don't touch. Like I said, Baltimore does win a lot in exhibition. And then where you have the quarterback challenges like Fields and Russell Wilson, or Daniel against who's my guy? Jesus, fuck, Sam, whatever, the guy from Notre Dame. I hate when I do this, but my mind's in 12 places, so it's hard to. Hartman. So when you got Hartman versus Daniels, and they're seeing who's the best, or Daniels will play the first quarter and Hartman will play second and third, then I bet Washington. But in this case, you got crap and crap. Chicago doesn't even have a good quarterback with Caleb, and Houston with CJ Stroud isn't very good. So you have kind of terrible quarterbacks. How do you bet on them? You're betting on Houston. Why? Because of Stroud ain't playing. None of their players are playing. You got third string quarterbacks playing. Or did you read that little snippet I saw where the Houston backup quarterbacks are better than the shit on the Bears? I mean, again, it doesn't matter. Does the defense play? Are they going to run the ball? Or they're just trying to go through the motions. The only play you can make tonight's under, and probably be a 10-7 game, because there's no offense. I wouldn't bet this game with your money. I told you. I told Bobby, take Kansas City over Detroit in baseball is a much better bet than trying to pick four-string quarterbacks. Again, it's return on investment. What's your best investment? And that's what I've been talking about with Luke right now. Is it's better to be in gold coins than it is to be in gold stocks. And his argument is, but stocks go up faster than the gold. But the point he misses is the gold's been price fixed. So if we get the gold out of price fixed, I guarantee you the stocks will not go up higher than the gold. The gold will go up. But because it's price fixed and the stocks aren't, that's where we get it. That's where you see it. But you're not going to keep seeing it. That's the difference. Okay, Greg John. So give me 20% on your winnings. It's going to be tough for you, Greg John, to pay for class, I see. Because once there's class, there's no picks out here, right? So you'll have to actually join the class. So that's what you have to understand. Silver's still price fixed. So you got to be more patient with silver. It's a great time to buy silver. I highly recommend buying it. Luke, you got so much silver. I wouldn't buy my, I would go after the quarter ounce gold or half ounce gold if I were you. But silver is going to take a little bit longer, probably when bricks and ounces maybe. See, what'll happen is gold hits 10,000 an ounce. Nobody can afford it except for the rich Chinese, and then it drives to, well, I can't afford it. I'm going to buy silver because that's also money. And that's when but silver is still affected by COMEX. So we need COMEX to blow up to get to a supply demand price, free market price for silver. And then we'll see silver at least 500 an ounce. So it's coming, but slowly. Luke, if brokerage accounts go under, the world will hit the fan. Oh, that's when gold comes into play there. Bobby got silver. He can pay for your picks. I'm buying gold now. Thanks, Professor. I agree. Have an ounce coming early next week. Good for you, Luke. It just becomes the more the better because you know you can't lose with it, right? It's a lock. It can't go down. COMEX is going out, not down. BRICS raised the price. All the central banks are buying gold, so there's huge demand. It's like I said, it's like buying a Rolex. Are you worried that it's going to go down? It can't. As long as you keep it in good condition, the Rolex only goes up because it takes a year to make a fucking Rolex. So we'll diversify into Rolex when our gold goes up. That'll be our diversification. But that's good, Luke. Buy your Eagles and buy your quarter ounces and half ounces too. The reason I say that, because you're not really going to want to trade in an ounce all the time. Sometimes you're just going to want a quarter ounce of dollars. Right now it's 700. I remember I gave my friend Alyssa, when I first started, when I met her, I gave her a quarter ounce of gold. I says, oh, it's worth, I think it was worth like 350. And gold was 1500. I said, this is worth 350. Now it's worth 700. So she's all excited. I was trying to get her to buy gold, but she didn't do it. I said, if you would have bought gold when I gave it to you and you just would have kept pounding it at 350 an ounce, you'd never have to work another day in your life. And it's unfortunate people don't quite get it, but we get it. And soon we'll never have to work again. TK, how was the phone call? Well, it was a Teams call from the recruiter. Went real well. I asked her some questions like about how I interview. I go, has it changed since now that kiddies are interviewing me? I says, I never had a problem interviewing. I've gotten a lot of jobs. I do take contract jobs because like this is a contract job for DTE, but if they want to pay me 55 an hour, I'm going to say, no, I'm not working. They're going to, fine. So I just said, so that's why I get a lot of jobs because I will take contract because autos pay well, but a lot of them are contract. And so I said, does it, now that the younger kids are interviewing me, do they not get me? I mean, because I would, if I had an interview and I would do well and I'd get the job. Mercedes, I interviewed Thursday night at 5:00 and the phone rang at 7:30 the next day. I got the job. When I met Luke, I was in Barcelona. I had interviewed for Harley at the airport in Philadelphia. I interviewed, flew to Barcelona. I got there Friday morning. Monday morning, I got the job. Yeah, we want Howard. So I don't know what to say. I mean, I've never had a problem, and here I've had several, but we went over that. But we went over the position. She texted me. We're looking for someone with either public accounting experience, internal audit, or a strong technical accounting background. But that would be an added plus, as the item above is most important. We are looking for somebody with an accounting background that has interest, experience in data analytics, reporting, programming, or system work, a techie type. The trading system we use is Endure. Likely won't find anyone who has used this system as it's specific to a trading company. For accounting, we use SAP as an example. The person currently in our group that we're trying to find her clone taught herself SQL programming so she could write her own queries to obtain data from the trading system. Now I'm very good at that, but uh, I've used queries out of SAP and stuff like that. But that's what they're looking for. So she was going over that stuff. Now I'm technical, but I've not really um, data analytics. See, they'll call it data. I don't even know what it is, but I know I've done a lot of data research at Mercedes and GM and everything, but I never called it data analytics. That's what so I'll do things that I don't know what it's called, and they'll say data analytics and programming or system work, which I've done, but not called that. So that's the thing. Mercedes sounds well. This isn't for Mercedes. That was the real good job, but COVID killed it. I come buy a car for you. No. I don't sell. I'm in finance. The gold silver market feels like never going to break. Comex, you mean? Well, we know Comex gold's breaking because of the gold, because of the bricks, and because of the tier one and Basel three. They if people want to take delivery of gold, they have to have the gold to do the derivative, and they're running out of gold is the point. So now they have very little gold left, so they can do very little derivatives, and they and with all the central bank buying by India and China and Saudi Arabia, as soon as they do the derivative, they buy. Look at it, it was 23.59 last week. It's already up to 24.45, let's say. So they're breaking it. That's why you're seeing, hopefully 2,500 by tomorrow. So they are breaking gold. Silver, not yet. Be patient with silver, but the demand for silver with the solar panels and the electric car batteries is growing. And then as gold gets more expensive, because they're breaking COMEX and China wants BRICS wants a higher price. That's what's going to break it. Though it'll drive them to silver because gold will be too expensive. I can't afford 10,000 an ounce, but you know what? Silver's only $35 an ounce. So everybody will run to silver. That's how we get that price. But it's smart. Just be patient with it. We know it's real money. We know you can't print it. We know it's limited, and we know it's money. So at the end of the day, just the boat's sinking. Just let the boat sink, and then you'll be fine. So don't worry about it. Don't you do the paperwork for the car sales? No, and I don't know what you're talking about. Where are you getting that from? What planet are you living on that you thought that? I don't work in there. I work in the well, this will be DT Energy, but when I worked at Mercedes, I was in the IT department as their financial analyst. So I would tell them their budgets and their actuals and their POs and their service agreements and their licenses and SAP and all that. So that's really where I got it from. That's the point. Uh, so here I'll say yes, I'm very good with uh, a techie type where I do analyze data uh, to get financial results. It's more general ledger, but I've done licenses and I've done service agreements, which they won't know what they are. They're Mercedes friendly. But no, I do not work at a Toyota dealership or a Mercedes dealership. I work at the plant in the IT department. So no, I don't. I've never worked at a dealership. I go into the Toyota dealership to try to tell them to buy gold, but I don't. I don't work. I don't work at Toyota. I don't work at a dealership. Never had a desire to. And right now, this is my job: teaching economics. Then we'll teach football, and then we'll let our gold. That's my main job is watching the gold price go up and then we're all going to retire. We'll have a party at Capitol Grill. Wonder if Bobby reconstructed his contract to be paid in gold. I told him to, but he said the Mets wouldn't do it. I told him exactly to do that. But they won't do it because they're not stupid either. So yeah, I told Bobby, like, look, year one, you made $1 million. Let's say it's $1 million a year. You got your $1 million, but the $1 million you're getting now is worth about 200,000. So you're getting fucked. You're only getting 200,000, even though the contract says you're supposed to get $1 million, because you fucked up. You got inflated dollars. You should have asked for $1 million in gold every year. Then you would have been inflation proof. Now you're getting fucked by the inflation and your $1 million's not worth anything. I would be a good salesman. Well, yeah, I am, I kind of am. I'm not selling anything here, but I'm explaining to you what to do. So I'm kind of selling you, but I don't make anything, but I am selling you to buy gold, let's say. I'm selling you what inflation is. So it is kind of sales, but it's really selling myself and my skill set, and just really the key is being honest. You can trust me, so you'll listen to me, and I'm honest, so you believe what I say. And that's really the key to sales. You sell yourself, that people go, I want to buy from him because I know he's honest. And the only thing I really sell here is the football picks, but I am so far head and shoulders above anybody else who gives football picks. So that's the one thing I will sell for. But otherwise, it's just really educating. That's why look, Andy Scheckman doesn't have a clue about paper gold. Like, what the fuck's he doing on? And he's a salesman, and he doesn't know, and he just talks a mile a minute, rumbling and bumbling and stumbling. And it's you tell when people do that, they're just like Peter Schiff does that. He talks a mile a minute, doesn't say a word. Nothing's true, but he talks a mile a minute. I'm amazing. Well, thank you. I do my best. I think thoroughly before I answer. Do your sports picks makes, I can't read that. Do your sports picks makes you good income? Absolutely. It's a nice side job. The bets I do very well on. The selling the picks, I do okay on. I don't understand why I don't have like 1,000 people buying my picks every week. I go 70%, and I have the history to document it. And you had all the picks in class on YouTube live, but I'm not getting enough people to watch it to realize how good it is. Like having, Kansas City over Baltimore, right? I had Kansas City Mahomes in a teaser with, I think, the Niners over Detroit in a lock, a game over. That was a big lock, and it wins easily. But why didn't I have 1,000 people buying it? Because I would have made them all a lot of money. But I made money on the game, but I'm not getting enough people to buy it, which I don't understand. I've had guys that I'll get a $200 tip at the end of the year, and I'll go, "What's this for?" Because you made me about $8,000. I get that all the time because I don't even know what these are. They're not they'll hit the college button and college is over. Well, why am I getting $200? Because you made me $8,000. You made me $10,000. I hear that a lot, but they don't want to buy my picks because I've been giving them out. That's why I'm doing class or go to the Teaserking and buy the picks, because too many people are getting upset that are buying the picks and I'm giving the picks out. So they're like, no. Why should I buy it from you? So that's why I have to do that. But $25 is nothing. Even you can afford that, Greg and John. You need to promote your YouTube channel more to get more viewers and subs. Well, yeah, I probably do. But I'm not a marketing guy. So yeah, I all I can do is do the class and then get, I'm up to like 670 subscribers from scratch, right? I had a guy ask me, how did you get all your subscribers? I go, well, I know how to pick, and I do it for real. I'm not a salesman, and I don't fake my picks. So if I give you Green Bay over Chicago and Green Bay wins, I'm giving you the pick and it wins. I actually know how to pick. And I had a psychic once tell me that I have like gypsy blood from my family, that I'm really psychic. And she calls me a medium, but you don't want to be a medium. I said, I don't know how to be a medium, but she can see it in me that I'm fucking really smart in economics. She says, you're a genius in economics, and you're really good. Just stick with your gut, and you're very accurate. So she can see all that. And I go, yeah, that's exactly. So my picks actually win. I'm not one of these scammers. I'm not a Madoff who, oh, I go 100%. Yeah, because I don't make the picks, or I make them after the game's over. And that's really what it's about. So I really know how to pick. And that's what I try to teach you, is how to pick baseball games and how to pick football games. I go through the the technique and the variables. That's what the variables are. You got to figure out the variables, which I give you, and then you got to figure it out and go, well, this is what's going to happen. Like Detroit today, take Kansas City, because Seth Lugo's 11-3 with a 2.68 ERA. The Tiger pitcher is Kenya Mayada, who's 2-9 with a 6 ERA. Those are the variables. And then you take the better pitcher against the weaker pitcher, and you take Kansas City. Is it 100%? No, but it's probably 70%, 75%. So that's kind of what I do. But I do it much better in football, because I've been betting football since 1970 myself. And, I started teasers in 1977, but I figured out the variables. And that's why I'm good at it. But if you can figure out how to promote me, go tell me what to do. Well, we're on social media, aren't we? So I don't have a Facebook account. I won't get one. I do on Twitter a little bit. I don't know how many people are actually following me. I get a few. I've gotten a few sales from Twitter. And then, and Instagram. I don't know what happened to my Instagram. There's an issue, but that's the problem. I don't really know how to promote like Google or stuff like that to promote, but I need somebody like that like, I have a programmer for my IT, but I don't really have that. I wonder if the Fed will break. Wonder if the Fed will break when the gold price gets unleashed. Well, the Fed's already broke. I mean, they can't handle the $36 trillion debt. So the Fed's just going through the motions. They're broke. They're gone. I mean, it's as simple as that. All the Fed can do is print money, because the MMT guys say, oh, there's no problem if you just keep printing money. And what do they tell you? Inflation's at 2 or 3%. Inflation's like, if you can even measure it in percentage, which you can, it would be 25, 30%. But they're going to tell you 2 or 3, and you're going to believe it. Don't know why you'd believe it. That's the point. They're fucked. They can't lower rates. If they do, it'd be for 1 month. They don't own gold. Why not? Because they're idiots. So all they're going to do is keep printing money, and that will bury the money. It'll go to zero. That's why gold goes to the moon, and silver will follow. Because once silver becomes money, gold gets too expensive. And there's not a lot of gold because of all the central banks buying gold. Poland and Czechoslovakia and all these. Russia with 20,000 tons. China was 60,000 tons. That's 80,000 tons. They had India and Saudi Arabia, probably another 20. That's 100,000 of the 250,000 tons are gone. And then all the central banks probably have another 60, 70 100,000 tons. So that's 160, 70,000 of the 255,000 tons gone. Then you got people like us, they don't even know I have, but the public, and then all these other countries, I'm sure Venezuela and Argentina and Brazil have gold. Everybody but the US, Canada, and England have gold. I don't know what US, Canada, and England are doing. They're out of their fucking minds. They're run by George Soros and his MMT boys, and they just want to keep printing money. And guess what? It'll go to zero. So the Fed's already fucked. But yeah, when the gold price goes, that's why they're fearing BRICS and the gold-backed currency, because as soon as that happens, the dollar's gone. And that's happening in October. The dollar's gone. They will tell you it's okay. Like in Venezuela, they have what, 600,000% of inflation. Well, the Venezuelan dollar's still there, or whatever the hell they call it. It's still there, but it's worthless, just like our dollar. Our dollar's worthless. Everybody needs to see the boat go underwater, and I'm telling you, the boat's going underwater. Right? So what's happening here is I bring up Titanic, it's hit the iceberg. You don't pay attention, but I do. And I know, well, what happens next? Oh, the water comes in. Oh, then what happens? Oh, it sinks. Then what happens? I better get on the fucking lifeboat now instead of waiting for the boat to go under. And most people wait for the boat to go under. So I know what's happening to the dollar. It's worthless. It's going out. I better buy gold. Most people sit there and don't pay attention to it, don't know it's sinking, and don't know to get to the lifeboat until, oh shit, most of the boat's underwater. Oh, I better get to the lifeboat. What do you mean there's no lifeboats? Yeah, people have been piling in the lifeboat for the last hour. There's one or two left, and everybody fights for it. But I've already saw it coming. So I've already seen this coming. That's why I'm saying buy your physical gold and get the fuck out of your stocks and just buy it, because it's about to break. The Fed's going to break. It's not if it will. And then you have BRICS sitting there going, we're going on a gold-backed currency because you keep fucking with us. You're putting sanctions on Russia, and you're putting sanctions on China. You're going to put tariffs on us. Well, you leave us no choice but to go gold-backed currency. We don't want to rely on the dollar, which is worthless. We don't want your T-bills because they're worthless. In fact, China is trying to sell $6 trillion of T-bills back to the U.S. to buy more gold because they're fucking going broke. So if you can kind of follow what's happening, then you'll know what to do. You may not even be able to buy physical gold when it does. That's my point. It'll be so expensive. How much gold are you going to buy at 10,000 an ounce? How about 20,000 an ounce? You're not going to be, you'll be buying like at 10,000 an ounce, you'll buy a quarter ounce for $2,500. So that's what you'll buy. So today you bought an ounce, and in a few months, you'll be buying quarter ounce for the 2,500. Right? I started buying gold at what, 15, 1,600. Well, I bought some at 250 after my master's program. And then I got into the baseball cards. And then thanks to my ex, another reason she's my ex. And then 3 years ago when Biden came in, I started buying gold heavily at probably 15, 1,600, knowing where it's going, knowing this is going not just to 3,000, but to 5 to 10 to 20, knowing that's where it's headed. That's why I laugh when I buy gold from my guy at the store. This is why I laugh. I says, you're selling me the physical at paper prices, which he has no clue. He asked me how much. He said he needed some American Eagle gold ounces. Do you have any? I go, I ain't selling them to you at 2,000. I said, when it hits 20,000, I'll sell them to you, but not at 2,000. He thinks I'm nuts, and I'm like, no, I know exactly what's going on. But because I can think like this and most people can't, they can't get to my level. So when I talk to a guy in the hot tub or the pool, well, I got oil stocks. I'll see you in the soup kitchen. And he's joking. And I go, no, because I'm not in the stock market. So when the stock market crashes, I'll be fine. That's why I'd like to get the trust money in before bricks goes crazy because I want to buy more gold, but I don't know my payout of the trust. I'm assuming it's large, but I don't know. So if I knew what it was, I would go cash out, buy all the gold, and knowing I'm getting the money coming. But I gotta wait, and then I'll just have to pay more for the gold, but that's okay. Bobby Bo has returned. I'm in class, but on a call. I will be. Oh, hang up. Football is back, Bobby. Come on, who's tell the people on the phone to turn on the professor. They can talk anytime. No, Bobby owes us gold, silver, right, Luke? When Bobby's not on, he owes us 10 ounces of silver. So he owes us about 1,000 ounces of silver. The Dow went from 16K to 40K the last 10 years, but it's manipulated and it's price fixed. It's not real market. What you got to realize is most of the shit that's happening is not free market. It's price controlled by the banks. They control the stock market prices. They control the bond market prices. I don't know who this is. I got a call last class, right, as we were ending. And I tried calling it back, and it's like, this number is not in service. So you get the scam callers. What's up, Bobby? Good to see you again. Yeah, it's just a better class when Bobby's on. He has such good questions. Well, see, that's what you got to understand. See, you've got to understand that, but most people can't. So they're in stocks because they know what's been happening in stocks, not realizing their price fixed. Look at Madoff. Oh, I'm going to go jump in Madoff because I get 15%. Do you realize it's a Ponzi scheme? No, but my friend Phil there gets 15% on his Madoff, so I'll get into Madoff. And the problem with Madoff is he should have been buying gold with the money. In other words, he's getting all this money in, and then he's paying out, and then he gets extra money. And he bought a house in the south of France and a boat or something. Should have been buying gold as protection, right? And then he would have sold the gold and paid off people, and he'd be fine. Bobby is back for no, Bobby had problems, so he's fixed, and now he's back. But yeah, football season's around the corner. But that's okay. Good to have Bobby back. So anyway, that's what we realized. They can't fuck with our physical. Our physical gold and silver can't fuck with it. So you're getting a little hurt on silver. If you really thought about it properly, silver is a buying opportunity because it's much higher than the $30 an ounce. It's 400-500 an ounce on its way to 1,000 an ounce. But since you don't see it, you don't realize it. So therefore you go, you're frustrated. Why isn't it going up? Which makes perfect sense. But if you really grasp the variables of what the hell is going on, you realize it is price fixed, but the price fix can't last. There's too much demand for the solar panels that they need physical silver for. That's going to drive the price up. And then the gold price going up is going to drive the silver price up because it's muddy and you can't afford the gold at 10,000 an ounce, but silver is going to be there at $40-50 an ounce when gold hits 10 grand. Now it should be 1,000 an ounce. It'll probably be 400 or 500. But once it hits 100, it's going to go to 5 because then people will realize they've been duped. And then they'll start buying. See, people don't realize they're all getting fucked with silver. And again, it's a great buying opportunity. But people don't get it. I read somewhere that JP Morgan had all these ounces of silver and they're selling it to keep the price down, which makes absolutely no sense. If I'm JP Morgan and I've got, 1 million ounces of silver, don't I want the price to go up? Don't I want it to go to 100 and I make all this money on all this silver? Why would I sell it to keep the price down? Does that make any sense? No, it makes no sense. So I don't buy that. The derivatives are what keep the price. See, these are people that don't understand. What's really happening are derivatives keeping the price of silver down, not JP Morgan selling, because buying and selling doesn't come into the equation of COMEX. Only derivatives do. So if me, Luke, and Bobby were to buy 10 million ounces of silver, the price wouldn't move at all because we're not the derivative. We're the outside buying it. So we could buy it all, it'd still be $28 an ounce. And that's the thing. And that's when the guys who tried to corner the silver market, the problem is they bought derivatives instead of silver. Had they bought physical silver, they might have cornered the market, but buying in the derivative market, there's too much leverage. They could never corner the silver market. They could physically, but not in paper. I wonder how Bobby Bowe would hit against Paul Skynes. Bobby would eat him up. He's pitching Sunday, but going to be 87, too hot to go. Yeah, this kind of the hard's when you go to a football game that's really hot. You just sweat. $500 silver is life changing. Well, yeah, so's basically $5,000 an ounce gold is life changing. So let's say you have 100 ounces of gold. Every time gold goes up $100, so from 2,400 to 2,500, you make $10,000. So do that from 2,500 to 5,000. That's a lot of money. It's almost $1 million probably, going from 25 to 5,000. That's life changing. That's why it's going to be hard to sell your gold. That's why I advise you to buy some quarter ounces and tenth of an ounces and half an ounces. Gold at 5,000, you really going to sell an ounce? Probably not. And this is where we get into paying for a house with gold. As it gets up there, the seller realizes, wow, gold's really valuable. And so we're in China, as the house goes down in value, now here you come with some ounces of gold, and there's no buyers, right? Nobody's going to pay him a million yuan for his house, which is yuan is 7 to 1 US. So $1 buys you 7 yuan. So $1,000 buys you 7,000 yuan. So 100,000 gets you 700,000 yuan. So as your gold goes up and your dollar goes down and his yuan goes down, you walk up to him, I got 2 ounces of gold, once gold goes for the house. And that's why I'm saying he'll take it in a minute. It's off the books. He sells the house. You buy the house. There's no mortgage. He's going to take it. He doesn't want the money anyway, because once they realize it's inflated and they've all been fucked, nobody wants the dollar. So that's really the point. So excuse me. That's the point. So you just got to realize it. So when I tell you you're going to buy a house with gold and you want to have a mortgage, now the picture's getting clearer for you. That's why I don't want you in stocks, because stocks are not going to go up. In theory, they would go up if it wasn't the catastrophic, the Chinese selling their stocks, and they're all going to dump. They're going to sell all of them stocks. They're not going to sell. Wait, don't sell my gold and silver stocks. So once you realize that, you're going to see the whole market. Well, look what happened in 1929. It was 295 and it went down to 29. You think they held on to their gold stocks, or do you think they dumped all their stocks because they were on leverage? And they leveraged all their stocks, so they had to pay the leverage off, and they sold the other stocks to pay it off. Anything they owned, they had to come up with the cash. Well, don't you think that's happening now? That's why, you've got to be careful with the stock. I am not in one stock. I don't want to own any stock. The only stock I would be in now would be Coke or Pepsi because the high interest rates. Nobody's buying cars or Caterpillar or anything that is a interest rate variable, but Coke will do well because, as I did in my thesis, it's a dollar for a Coke, and that's everybody has the dollar, and everybody needs to eat or drink, and so you'll get a Coke. That'll always stay, but the car, I'm not going to buy a car now. Interest rates are 8%. I can't afford a house now. So how does that affect? Well, they're not making cars because they can't sell them. They're not making houses because they can't sell them. The interest rates are going up. So all these people are stuck with high inventory. And with the high inventory, they can't sell it. They're not buying. They don't need any more. So they're at the plant going, I don't need any more cars. I can't sell the ones I got because the interest rates are high because of the inflation. The only out is gold. Gold is the lifeboat. So that's what you got to be careful with. But yeah, I mean, life changing, but just the whole gold and silver that we got is life changing. Not only will it change it, but it's going to save us because we'll be out of this. The thing you must understand, the most important thing of this whole class is that this is going to zero. Okay, there. Now does that mean this is what it's worth? 1 penny. It's going to this. It's going to be zero. The most important thing you need to do is get out of this. That's the most important. Just keep enough for your bills. If you're working, you're fine. If you're not working like me, I got to be careful I got to keep a little bit of cash so I don't have to trade in my coins. But if I get this DT job, then it quickly, you're going to quickly go and use it to get, I'm thinking about the job. You're quickly going to need it because the dollar goes out. So you're saving yourself. Let's say you have $500,000. You switch it to gold. You are going to lose your $500,000. So that's your first life changing, right? How do you feel being broke? Now you've turned it into gold, and now the kicker is the 500,000 is now worth 15 million in gold. Now, how do you feel? So you prevented one disaster and it paid you off dividends. That's what I'm waiting for. And I don't want to be in anything that's going down, which is all paper. So I don't want to be in the banks, and I certainly don't want to be in the stock market. It's all paper and it's all worthless. So I don't want to be in those. I only want to be in gold and silver, which is what I'm at, because I know all the rest are going down. You guys got to see, well, I got to see the Titanic sink before I realize it's going to sink. And all I can do is point your head at the water coming in the boat going, look, the water's coming in. It's going to, the next thing that happens is it sinks. But you got to see the boat actually going down to realize that it's going to sink. I don't. I already know if the boat's going down, which is what I keep trying to explain to you. Just understand we hit the iceberg and the boat's going, and we need to be in the lifeboat, which is gold and silver, and you need to get out of the Titanic, which is the paper and the stocks and the banks. Anything paper you must get out of, leaving you with the only thing that you can do, which is gold and silver, because they can't print it. They can't inflate it. Printing is inflation, not the prices. So they've got you totally fucked into believing that inflation's price is going up. It isn't. It's the dollar being printed and the value of the dollar going to zero. That's the inflation. And they can only raise prices if you'll accept it. If you don't accept steak going to $25, they're not going to sell any. Well, the price is up. Yeah, but nobody wants it. So they lower the price. But it's the printing of the dollars that makes the dollar worthless. Then so you print it a lot, it's worthless, right? That's what you gotta look what the Nazis are trying to do to the British. So don't believe me. Look what Hitler is doing. He's trying to get the British to ruin their economy, and the counterfeiters came in and printed the dollars or printed the pounds to dump the pounds on England to get the pound worthless. And without the pound, they can't build airplanes and feed their men and all this other shit. So that was Hitler's. So Hitler understands inflation. He understands dumping money and printing money ruins the economy because it happened in Germany. He gets it. And I try to give you examples so you don't have to see the boat sinking to understand the boat's going to sink. So yes, it's life changing, but the biggest life changing is get the fuck out of the dollars. Get out of the banks. That's why I'm showing you China. I can't get my money out of the bank. Why can't I? I'm limited. I can only get a couple $100 out of the bank. Well, I got 500,000. Goodbye. You'll never get it out of the bank. It'll be 500 at a time. Oh yeah, but I got 500,000 in there. Yeah, good luck. So that's why if I get a lot of money in the trust, I'm deeply worried about they'll give me a check, I'll try to cash it, and I'll say, well, give me the money, and they won't have it. So I won't be able, even though I get money, to do anything with it. So that's what we got to be careful with. The job, they're going to pay me, and then we'll have to figure out when the dollar goes out, I want gold. So we'll have to see what the job pays, but I got to figure the job out. Now, it's a technical job in the fact they are, has an interest, experience in data analytics, reporting, programming, or system work, a techie type. For accounting, we use SAP. So this girl taught herself SQL programming. Well, I don't know how to do that, but I'll learn. Or maybe the girl left notes for me. But that's what I'll give them. And then they have to, we'll agree on a payment. And then it's, okay, but what happens when the dollar goes out? I'm going to want gold. You're going to have to pay me gold, not the dollar number two that's worthless. So that's the biggest scam is I'll go to work. Let's say I get $50 an hour. What's that worth? It's not worth anything because $50 is worthless. So I'm going to go to work and get paid in monopoly money. So what I do, I get my paycheck and I pay my rent in monopoly money because they accept monopoly money. And the rest, I go to the gold store, turn it into gold as quick as I can. So I make sure I have my expenses paid and the rest goes into gold. That way I'm theoretically getting paid in gold, even though they're paying me in dollars. So as quickly as I can. So that's how you're going to get, Luke, you're going to get paid that too. The money's going to be worthless. You don't want to get paid in dollars. The whole system in dollars goes. So your paycheck, you pay your bills in dollars because they still accept it. So your townhouse and your car and your food, that's fine as long as they're still open and accepting the dollar, even though it's monopoly money, you gladly give it to them. But the rest, you got to get in. You go to the gold store, and you got to buy gold and silver with it. You can't hold it because it's monopoly money. It isn't worth anything. I'm concerned of liquidating my stocks for more gold because there won't be anything left for the bank to give me a loan. Are you still worried about a loan for the house? Have you talked to the bank? Are they worried about it? You see, you're not trusting me. I'm telling you, you use gold to buy the house. You won't have a mortgage, but you're having a hard time wrapping your hands around it. And I understand it's a little bit different, but that's what they did in 1923 in Germany. They bought a house with 5 ounces of gold. And that's all I'm saying. I wouldn't worry about that. So you're worrying about it now, but when the shit hits the fan, they're not going to worry about it. They're not going to have money to loan you anyway. So you're assuming that you're going to go buy a house for $400,000, take out a loan, a mortgage at the bank. Will the bank even be there? Will they have money to give you? So I wouldn't worry about the stocks. If you need to, you have gold. So if you need to, you sell a few ounces and put it in the bank and say, look, I got 50 grand in the bank. That should satisfy them to give you the mortgage anyway. I thought it was just 20% down in your pay stub. So if I'm making 100 grand and here's your 20% down, then I get the mortgage. I don't know if it's changed. That's when I got my mortgage, but it was 2002. But like for me to get the apartment, I needed a good credit score and showed them that I was making money at the job, and they rented me the apartment. I didn't need anything else. So it's very, I went to one apartment and I said, well, I don't have any money in the bank, but I have gold. And they thought I was like some drug dealer or something. Oh, what do you mean you don't have money in the bank? I don't keep money in the bank because the banks are going to crash and I'm not going to get my money out. So I, again, think fifth dimensionally. And these people are like, oh, we can't loan it to you. You've got to be working. Well, I'm retired. Like, why do I got to, if I'm retired and I want to rent an apartment, why do I need to be working? I get $2,500 a month on on um, on Social Security, and then it's a matter of I have my goal to pay rent if I need it, or I will be working, or Teaserking or whatever, or now the trust comes in, but I'm not worried about that. I don't know why you're worried about it. If you have the gold, you can always put it into your bank. You can always sell the gold to get the phony money, the monopoly money to put in your bank to get the house, right? But you can't sell the stock to get gold later, So just be careful. I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't think like that. There won't be anything left for the bank. But wouldn't the bank look at wouldn't the bank, if you had your 2 ounces of gold, and so you sell 50,000 of stock and you put it into gold, you get 20 ounces. Yeah, 2,500 is 10. You get 20 ounces of gold. Now you're ready to buy the house. Gold's now 5,000 or whatever. So you sell 10 ounces and put the money in the bank. How is that any different than having the money in the stocks? Are you a good credit? What's your credit score? Oh, it's 750. And you make 150 grand. And why do they care about your stocks? I don't understand. So if you need the money, you sell the gold and do it. And otherwise, you have the gold. But what if the stocks drop? Now all of a sudden, your 80,000 of stock is 20,000. But you have it for the house. Yeah, but you just lost $60,000. That's what I'd be preventing, is don't risk that. Put it in the gold. And then if you need to sell a few ounces for the bank, so if the bank says, well, you need money, and they say, okay, I'll get some money and I'll put it in, and then we're done. So that's all. I mean, how is money in the stock versus money in the bank any different? But this way, you're taking a huge risk, because when the market collapses, you're fucked. But if you're in gold, and then you go buy the house, a couple ounces and sell it, put it back in the bank, and they see the money there. Why would the money in the bank be any different than the money in the stock market? If anything, the money in the bank's worth a lot more than the money in the stock market. The stock market's not, it's the same asset, right? It's not, you don't own the stocks. You don't own BMW cars if you bought BMW stock. So if you have the money in the bank, it's even more liquid for them, especially if it's their bank. So I don't agree with your thinking. Anyway, Bobby Bo, where'd you go, Bobby Bo? You're on a phone call. Okay, so he's on the phone. He's in class, but on a call. Okay, so we'll wait for Bobby to get off his class. I got to be a techie. I need interest and experience in data analytics, which I don't even know what it is, but I do a lot of data, I'm sure. I just don't call it that. Reporting, programming or system work, I do a lot of that with SAP. I've done queries in PeopleSoft and Oracle. Yeah, I'm a pretty a techie type when it comes to figuring out things. Yeah. The trading system. So I'm going to do stuff with trading. How exciting. Advanced Excel skills are a must. Well, I have that. Self driven, I can do that. A high level of intelligence is typical. The trading world can be intimidating. Am I intimidated by the trading world? Not a chance. See, here's where I wonder if I should talk gold because I love this. A high level of intelligence is typical. Interesting qualifications for this role. This is for a senior financial accountant. So I check that. Self-driven, takes initiative, check that. Advanced Excel, check that. Someone with either public accounting experience, I have a little, a long time ago, or a strong technical accounting background, but that would be added plus. Okay, so I fit. So that's my talking points. Data analytics. Techie. From Ohio. I don't know anybody in Ohio. Um, SAP, high level Excel. I always find when you write things down, they stick to you a little better. System work. Reporting. So this is helpful. Now I know what to talk about. Bobby Bo. All right, we're waiting for you, Bobby Bo. See, Luke keeps having a problem. He doesn't want to sell his stocks because he wants to buy the house. And so what I tell him, well, it was a it was my recruiter explaining what's needed for the interview. The interview's tomorrow at 9. So this was basically me talking to the recruiter to just go over what they want in the interview. It's DTE Energy. It's the utility here for electric and gas to heat your house and electric. So that's what it's at. So she was just going over teams and then making sure, if I had any questions and stuff like that. You think you could hit well off of Paul Scanes? Good to see you back. Professor is thinking about dinner. No, I'm thinking about the job. So she gave me a job description. So I'm going through things. I made sloppy joe, so I'm going to have that for dinner. It's already cooked. I just have to heat it up. But I know how few people are about me eating here, so I will not eat. I'm not really that hungry. I had a Whopper for lunch, and that was it. Like I was telling you, Bobby, about the Social Security, they keep fucking you. It's like, well, wait a minute. If I'm due $2,500 a month, why does it matter how much I make at a job? Then I can't get it. Well, is it retirement or not? So if I work and you pay but you're paying me, but if you pay me too much, I got to give it back to you. What kind of fucking Social Security is this? So the bottom line is they don't want to give you Social Security. So if you start working, because they know everybody needs to work because of the high inflation, they then say, well, wait, we don't want to give you Social Security because it's broke and we don't have any. But if you don't work, then we can give it to you. So here's an example. So I'm getting Social Security every month. But now if I get this job and I start making good money at it, I'm going to owe my Social Security because I'm going to make more than $22,000. I'll do that in 2 months. I'll get 22,000. So it's a definitely a bullshit scheme. The Social Security, we'll give it to you, but you can't work and you can't make money. I'm like, what the fuck? So it's just a scam and it's broke. But yeah, so Luke wants to come into Detroit, and I said we'll go to a Michigan game because we don't want to go to a Lions game, and then we can go to Capitol Grill. There's a Capitol Grill in Troy. So you're going to come up for that, Bobby, or you're going to take us to an LSU game? Luke's going to take us to a Pirate game. He said that he's got, 18 people to a game in August, so it'll be 20 when me and you join him to see Skanes pitch. And then he's coming here, and we'll go to Capitol Grill. Nobody said I can't eat. One of the guys is teasing me. He's been on here for years, so I can't remember his name. Says, "Oh yeah, I just fast forward you eating," is what he says, because I'm chewing and drinking, and so he doesn't like it. So he says, "Well, I'll just fast forward the eating part of it." I'm going, "Well, you're missing all the good stuff." But no, I know I can eat, but I'll eat soon. Let's see the sloppy Joe. Luke, when is gold going up? Luke's got to get over. He keeps wanting gold stock instead of gold coins. So I'm trying to teach him that he really wants the gold coin because the stock market's crashing. I've been showing the Chinese things, and the Chinese housing market's crashing, and the military budget's crashing, and the banks are crashing because Evergrande crashed. So I'm saying the Chinese will need money. They're going to sell their stocks and banking stuff here because they're going to need money. And so that's when you're going to see the banks and the stocks crash. So if I'm holding gold stocks, oops, they're all going to crash. But if I'm holding gold, I don't have any, it can't crash because they can't, they're controlling with derivatives, but it gets bought up by China and Russia, so gold's not going anywhere but up. I can't wait for college football week 1. That's 3 weeks away now. It's August 24th. And let's see when LSU. So LSU's first game's against USC. So we'll be rooting for a high-scoring game, which we should get. Brian Reynolds is flirting with Bobby Bonilla's switch hit home run record. Who's Brian Reynolds? Is that Ryan Reynolds, the guy from Mint? I'd love to know when gold is going up. October, I'm telling you, bricks will make gold go up. It's been a buying opportunity that you haven't bought enough of for years. It's still a buying opportunity, but it's running away. So as I'm telling them, Bobby, when gold hits 10,000 an ounce, how many ounces are you going to buy? You'll be buying quarter ounces for 2,500, which now you're buying ounces for 2,500. So boring is good when we're ready to buy it. Once we bought as much as we can eat, then we want selling. We want prices going up. So right now it's great. They're waiting for us. We can still get it 2,500. So all's good. Boring is good when you're ready to buy. But that's okay. So that's okay. What else, guys? So you want to see the sloppy Joe, Bobby? It's just hamburger mixed up, but I can show you. I know Bobby likes to see my food. Here's a portion of it. 2 pounds of hamburger, and then the sloppy Joe mix, the tomato paste, and the water. And there you go. So I can't wait to eat it. Brian Reynolds is the all-star left fielder for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Does he know Ryan Reynolds? Okay. Didn't know they had any all-stars. That's like the Tigers. They have the only all-star was their pitcher. The rest of the guys are a bunch of bums. But when you listen to the radio, the guy tries to sell them like they're all Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle. Oh, what a great play. And I watch it and it's like, really? I mean, I made that play all day. What do you mean great play? It's not a great play. The one I love the most is with the dive in the outfield. I've done that many times where the ball is coming and you lay out and you keep an eye on it and you catch it. You're flat, in the air. You're diving for the ball. It's an easy catch. And the basket catch is easy because of football. So you're used to looking over your shoulder and you catch the football. Well, that's all the baseball is. You just look over the shoulder, you find the ball, it's a simple catch. Oh, it's the greatest catch. Oh, my, unbelievable. And I'm like, it's a piece of cake if you play football. Who doesn't play football? So these announcers, everything, oh, it's the most amazing catch and the most amazing this and that. And we were talking earlier about the quarterbacks, how they were, hope I put that on a bun. Why do I need it on a bun? I don't eat buns. I have a little pita I might put it on, but I don't want the carbs. So anyway, so they're talking about quarterbacks, and the Lion guys are crying, oh, Jared Goff's like the 12th best quarterback. And they had they had C.J. Stroud like 4. They had Lamar 2. And I'm going, fuck, these people are idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. How is Lamar in the top 10? How many playoff games has he won? 2 in what, 8, 9 years now? And why is Lamar good? Oh, because he's fast, he can run, but he's a quarterback. I need a guy who can throw. And they had Joe Burrow like 38th, and I'm like, no, Joe Burrow. It's Mahomes 1, Burrow 2. That's it. Aaron Rodgers, Stafford, whatchamacallit, the guy in San Diego, Herbert. I don't know. And Jordan Love's getting better. Josh Allen maybe, but Stafford's up there. Purdy's up there. And they got Tagliabue and you got to be kidding me. These guys suck. See, it just shows you how much more we know about it and understand about it than these guys who just look at, well, Lamar's fast. He runs a lot. They don't win, though. He's won 2 playoff games in about, 10 years, 8 years, if he even finishes the season. And why is he such a good quarterback? Because he's fast, but that's not a quarterback. He's a running back. Anyway, we will continue to make money where all others lose. So I'll have to keep this Ryan Reynolds guy. All right. And he's in movies, too. Is it me, or is there a crisp feeling the air when football is back? It's crisp feeling when it gets a little cooler, like come September and it's 60 degrees and you need the sweatshirt. You're in Tampa, but for us in the north, us northern boys, yeah, then the sweatshirt, that's the best. Wearing a sweatshirt, going out, walking, watching the games. That's the best. 70, 65, 70 degrees. Perfect. That's when you really, and then you run home. I always plan my day on Saturday. It's like, okay, I'll go to the club right after class because I don't care if I miss a little of the noon kickoff. And then I get back for the 3:30 games. I get Chinese, and then at 3:30 is usually the better game. And then I get the night game. But so, Bobby, what do you think of all this bullshit now we got 100 teams in the Big Ten, 100 teams in the SEC, no Pac-10, a lot in the Big 12. the ACC, okay, and then we got Conference USA and the other the MAC and the Sun Belt. Like, I don't understand why there's 42 teams in the Big Ten and the SEC. What the fuck's going on? Luke, I'm having some shrimp scampi tonight for dinner. Maybe with some chicken and noodles. Love those carbs. Yeah. Be careful. Spaghetti, a lot of carbs. Sounds like a great dinner, Luke. Well, we're waiting for Luke to take us to the Capitol Grill. So get some steaks and nice salads and stuff there. I haven't been there in years. I was at Hiram Walker last time I remember going. That reminds me, Professor, I got to get back up the conferences. I literally forgot all the changes. I've done a few videos on them. So I did a Big Ten video maybe a month ago, SEC, Big 12, Sun Belt, Conference USA, AAC, ACC. So I've already done them all. Just go there probably a month ago because it had to be in June when the magazine came out. So they're there. And I go through the new coaches, the new quarterbacks, stuff like that. So it's all there. Bobby Bo, what do you think of Miami of Florida week 1? I think Florida upsets them outright in this one. I don't know why Miami's favored. They have the worst coach in football who doesn't know how to take a knee. Cam Ward is not good. He's not better than Van Dyke. And I agree with you. I don't understand why Miami's favored in this game. Florida should be a 3-point favorite. Plain and simple. You got too much money on Cam Ward. The Florida quarterback's very good. He transferred from Wisconsin. He's fine. He was good stats last year. And if they could beat Utah at home week 1, they can beat. So that's how we learn. Now, the guy's job's on the line. You know how noisy it gets in Florida. And Miami does not have Michael Irvin and the boys, The Rock and everybody else. So they're not that good of a team, especially being favored. So this is where everybody's so hyped on Cam Ward because he had all those yards and touchdowns at Incarnate Ward. At Washington State, he didn't do that much. So I remember we had a guy on here last year saying how good Cam Ward was because they had beaten Wisconsin at home and somebody else. I said, well, let's see him on their own. They went to Oregon and got killed. And I said, there's Cam Ward. So on the road against Florida, Florida should, I think they'll win by at least 10 points. That's a game where the wrong team's favored. There's no question about it. That's the thing with college football. It's so emotional. Believe me, Florida knows they're home dogs. Miami knows they're road favorites and is shaking in the boots. But when you get down to it, who has the better coach? Florida. I like the guy from Lou Lafayette better than I like the idiot who's coaching Miami who won't take a knee. And then not only did he not take a knee and they fumbled, but then 2 plays later, they're throwing a bomb and beating him because his defense is not on the goal line. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So terrible coaching there. I never locked Cristobal. He did shit at Oregon. He's doing shit at Miami. He can't handle my Tyler Van Dyke. So let's see what Tyler Van Dyke does at Wisconsin because he's very good. But I'll tell you, the one team I'm looking at is Utah. Cam Rising, yes, he is playing, Bobby Bo. And believe me, they are pissed. He had to sit out that whole year with the knee. He's ready. He's practicing. He has no restrictions. They're going to come out on fire because this guy's the real deal. And they got a hell of a defense. So you got the great defense and Cam Rising. Good running. Good coach. Look out. And, yeah, I wouldn't want to play Utah, especially in Utah and the altitude, but they're playing like Southern Utah week 1, so we don't really we'll see them win 73-0, but it'll be pointless because it's a high school team. But There's a lot of Utah. Now they're Big 12, and they'll be the stud of that conference. Like I said, the playoff, your top four is Ohio State, Oregon, Utah, and Georgia, with chips on their. All four have chips on their shoulder, as does Florida State, but they got Uglia Buglia. Hopefully, they got a good freshman quarterback or somebody out of the NIL, and then they can start him. But if they're relying on Uglia Buglia to do anything, I can't believe they signed him. And worse, if they actually paid the guy, he's terrible. He was terrible at Clemson. He was terrible at Oregon State. What do you think he's going to do at Florida State? I mean, what are you kidding me? Fuck, he's terrible. Yeah, I think they can beat Miami. But Bobby Bowe will be at the Swamp in November when LSU. Well, yeah, LSU will kick their ass. I like the coach, Brian Kelly's good coach. Oh no, Cam Rising is back for his 10th year. Yeah, he's on a pension now. They got to pay him in gold. Luke, Bobby Bowe gives Professor a second win. Well, we haven't seen Bobby in a while. Thank you, Bobby. Well, I appreciate that. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I tell Greg John. He says I'm a good salesman. I go, because I'm honest. I'm not selling you anything. I'm just explaining to you. And I'm giving you a good reason and explanation. That's why we talk gold and silver, and you should buy it. And I put my money where my mouth is. But yeah, thank you. That's why I don't understand when I get it. I had one job I had 4 interviews with. I still don't have the job. And I'm like shaking my head, Bobby. I'm like, well, why the fuck am I not being hired? Am I too old? I mean, I don't know what it is. But I took my birth date off of LinkedIn where they could kind of see my birth date. So I kind of said I'm a 20-year-old or something now. Let's see. Look, Professor, maybe we can do a live stream with Bobby from Capitol Grill. Well, isn't Bobby going to be at Capitol? Oh, you want me to do class from Capitol Grill? Yeah, I mean, we can do that. What do you want to do it on gold or football? So I'll be excited when Jenna comes here. She says, I need a visa. I'll pay for it. Just get the visa. I'll buy you the ticket and you come here and then you can live here for 5-6 months. I don't care. That'll be exciting. You get a little bit much living alone. I do have some girls that come over, but not the same. And Daria keeps playing her games. I'm getting tired. 5-6 more days every other couple of weeks. And I'm like, stop playing me for a fool. What the fuck are you doing? And she says, oh, I hate Russian men. So she's implying I'm not with the guy. And I'm like, I'm not stupid. So I told my friend from Alabama, I says, well, I should probably hire a detective just to see what she's doing. And they're cheap. They're 500 rubles, which is nothing. Or 5,000 rubles. So it's like $100. And I'm thinking, yeah, it'd be nice to know what's really going on with her. I'll see if I do that, but I'm waiting to meet her. Mother's in Russia. She's visiting friends when she comes back to take care of the daughter. Then we're supposed to go to Serbia, but I ain't holding my breath because I don't know what her problem is. How could you not want a vacation with me? Everybody wants to vacation with me. So we'll see. But me and Jenna, we're going to go to Greece. And then now she's in Berlin visiting her friend. And then I said, well, come here instead of, because I go there, I see her for a week. This way she can spend a few months here. But sure, we can do a live stream from Capitol Grill. So I got one in Troy here. Bobby's got one in Tampa. So either way, we'll do a road trip. I don't care. It's fine. That little travel. Or we could do it from Barcelona, Luke. There was a nice restaurant on the beach in Barcelona near the Picasso Museum. That was a nice restaurant. I think it was Chinese and American or something. I got like nice sweet and sour chicken. It was really good. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of games. We got to watch a lot. There's I point out new coaches, new quarterbacks. There's so many new coaches. And the real thing is the coordinators go. There's so many new coordinators. Oh my God. So like Wisconsin's trying to run their run and shoot with Van Dyke, but they didn't. They tried to do it last year and it sucked. They didn't really do much, but with Van Dyke and that defense, they could be a real surprise. It's sort of like Russell Wilson when he went to Wisconsin. All of a sudden, they're scoring 50 points a game with that defense, and that's why they went to the Rose Bowl and they were a great team and they won the Big Ten. They could do the same with Van Dyke because they have the defense, good defensive coach Luke Fickell. So we'll see if they can use Van Dyke right. They'll be really hard to beat. But there's some really tough schedules. Ohio State's got to play at Oregon. I was looking at Michigan yesterday. They got Fresno State, Texas, USC, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan State. They got 6 tough games. And after bullshit last year where they had no tough game, even Ohio State sucked last year. So they went undefeated with the easiest schedule I've ever seen. The Big Ten sucked. Their out of conference was like the Navy and Central Florida or something. I mean, it was very bad teams, very bad schedule, very bad. So it's nice to see them lose to Fresno State, lose to Texas, they'll probably beat SC, lose to Oregon and Ohio State. Oh, I can't wait to see Oregon beat the hell out of them. Yeah, those are some weird relationships, Professor. What, with the girls? No, they're not weird. They're just, I got the balls to date hot European girls. That's all. And I don't settle. But it's worth it. We'll see. Bobby, I got the Bears tonight, Professor. Why? Why would you bet preseason, Bobby? And the first field goal of the game under 38.5. I don't mind the under. I don't know why you would bet the Bears. Ohio State at Oregon. Wow, that's a great spot to take the Buckeye. Oh, they should be a live dog. With Will Howard, they got a great defense. This is going to be like, it'll be like Oregon and Washington. This could be a great over. Oregon's got Gabriel from Oklahoma. They'll be scoring. In Ohio State with Will Howard, they'll be scoring. This could be a great over game, depending on what Ohio State looks like. Or if they're really, really tough defensively, and I know Oregon is, then this is going to be a great dog game like we did. How many times did we have the dog in these type of games? And we won all of them last year. Hope the line is low. Well, not necessarily. The over-under, I don't. What if we got Oregon in 7? I'll take Ohio State in 13 every day. No way the Ducks beat Ohio State. Well, I don't know about that. Buckeyes will expose them. I don't know about that either. Washington found a way. They had Penix. Will Howard will do good. But Oregon at home is really tough to beat. But Ohio State, yeah, I agree. Ohio State definitely can upset them. The game you really want is Ohio State, Michigan. They're going to kill them. 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 After 3 years losing to Michigan, are you kidding me? And Michigan sucks. They new coach, new quarterback, new running back, new O-line, new defense, new defensive coordinator. And this coach does not impress me at all. The quarterback doesn't impress me. He's one of these running quarterbacks. Ohio State's going to bury him. Oof, Jesus. Get to the Venetian. So if you go to Vegas, go to the Venetian. They usually have some of these big games odds up early. So if you go in August to the Venetian, they'll have the Michigan-Ohio State game on, and they'll have Michigan favored probably. And that's when you jump on it. That's what happened when I was with Carmen a few years ago. I had Ohio State in 3.5. And the guy's laughing at me, and I go, "You got the wrong team favored," and he didn't believe me. And when the game week came in November, Ohio State was 10-point favorites, and they won by 25. And I had Ohio State +3 because they know more than I do. Who got the last laugh there? It's at Oregon. Ohio State's at Oregon. Well, they got some tough games, Ohio State. Well, LSU get there with their quarterback and their defense. So let's look at Ohio State. See, now it's tough because you got to look at these schedules, and let's go. All right, Ohio State. So here's Ohio State's schedule, okay? At Michigan State, September 28th. Then they get Iowa, good defense. Then they go at Oregon, October 12th, at Penn State, which should be tough, and then Michigan. So they don't have much. They just got the Oregon game. Really is the only – if they win that one, they're going to run the table. Yeah, they'll win Iowa because it's at home. Michigan State gives them a little trouble. Nebraska's not anything. At Penn State, they always win. Maybe that give them a little trouble, and then Michigan they're going to kill. But if we go to the Michigan schedule, I love it. Here's Michigan's schedule. They got Fresno State at home with Mikey Keene. Then they got Texas at home. And then they got USC at home September 20th. So 3 out of the 4 they could lose. Then they're at Washington October 5th, who will not be as bad as we think. Michigan State on the 26th is a war. And then they go to Oregon the next week, which is going to be really tough. And they end at Ohio State. So they got, let's just say, Texas, USC, Washington, Oregon, and Ohio State. They got 5 games that they can't win. I love it. I want to see them get buried. Now let's go to Bobby. Let's look at LSU's schedule. LSU. They open against USC in Vegas. There you go. You going to go to that one? You going to Vegas for that, Poppy Ball? Then we got UCLA, who's going to be tough. Although they're the Big Ten. Why are they playing UCLA? Why are they playing USC and UCLA? They're in the Big Ten. Then they are at Arkansas. Shouldn't be. They don't have your quarterback anymore. He transferred to UCF. At Texas A&M, could be a toughie. Alabama, they got November 9th, and then at Florida the 16th, and they end with Oklahoma. So they got to get by at A&M and Alabama, and then Oklahoma at the end. And Oklahoma shouldn't be that good. So really, it's just A&M and Alabama that they got to beat. So they should definitely be in the playoffs. And by then, their quarterback should be ready. Professor is pulling out the Phil Steele magazine now. No, it's not Phil. I hate Phil Steele. This is Athlon Sports College Football. And all I care about was the coaches and quarterbacks, which I probably got to get online. But I read these little sections like the bottom summary here. And then this little piece here. And then up top on the new coach and OCs. So like LSU, Nussmeier's the new quarterback. There's also a new play caller, Joe Sloan. That's your problem, Joe Sloan. Who the fuck is he? Nussmeier started. See, they keep bringing in the bowl game. Who gives a fuck? And the win over, did they play any of their players in the bowl game? So it's just bullshit. The biggest task for LSU's offense is building a running game around budding star Caleb Jackson, veteran Josh Williams, and a host of newcomers. Brian Kelly believes that Kyrene Lacey, who spent a 23 apprenticeship at the feet of Malik Neighbors And Brian Thomas is poised for a breakout season, so that's their new receiver. The offensive line may be the strength of the deal. It's bookended by juniors Will Campbell and Emory Jones at the tackle spots. The only question mark is the redshirt freshman DJ Chester taking over at center. So there you go. They got the O-line. The quarterback will be fine. The running backs are fine. The receivers will be fine. Then it's who is this Joe Sloan as the OC? That's the problem now. They change OCs like it's a joke, but you don't know who it is. I know Brian Kelly, but I don't know who the OC is. Anyway. Wow, their SEC prediction is 6. National forecast 11. Wow, what a crazy SEC. So we will see. But that's really so when they get USC week 1, look for explosion. And then poor Nicholas State. Well, why are they playing Nicholas State? I mean, what is the point of a Nicholas State game? You know, you're playing a high school team. What's the point? So you beat them 77-0. Great. They're a high school team. Bobby, as a former Pirates baseball player, don't you care about the Pirates and how good their pitching team is? Well, he was also a Met. They're in the hunt. Luke, I don't watch too much baseball anymore. I love football. Well, Bobby, once Clemente left Pittsburgh, he just, that was it for me too. I was watching the All-Star game, the World Series games they have on YouTube, like they do football, like in the whole Rose Bowl in 30-minute type of thing. They have the same thing for baseball. All the World Series. I'm watching 1960, 1962, there's Koufax strike out the whole Yankee team and Mantle. So you have that, and then I get to 1970, and Clemente was just an animal, beating Baltimore, I think, in 70. And then Baltimore beat Cincinnati in 71, or maybe I'm mixed up in the years there, but Clemente was just incredible. What a player. But that's when they had Willie Starsville, Dave Parker, and some pitching, Doc Ellis. But they had the Steeler uniform. That's what made them good. But yeah, the Pirates were good. But all those, you can see Mantle in the 60s in these World Series. And what I remember, I was watching the 1959 World Series. It was the Dodgers and the White Sox. And the White Sox, I don't remember who they had the Dodgers had Frank Howard on the team, which I never thought he played for the Dodgers. I knew he played for Washington and Texas. And they're playing in the fucking Coliseum. So it's not even a baseball stadium. So they took like a corner of the football stadium. And so you had this short left field fence and then this huge fence in center and right because they didn't, none of the crowd could see because they were all in one corner. And, it wasn't Koufax didn't even pitch in the game. It was, I think, Don Drysdale and I don't remember the pitching, but I was like, "Where's Koufax?" He wasn't there. And the Dodgers beat the White Sox, and then the Dodgers faced the Twins, and you had Harmon Killebrew, Tony Oliva, and they didn't have the good pitching, and the Dodgers beat them. But that was good. And then the Cardinals. Fucking Bob Gibson wins the 65, like striking out the whole Yankee team, I think. And then 67. And the odd part, so let's go to the 68 World Series with the Tigers. These fucking pitchers pitched on 2 days rest. Game 7 is Gibson on 2 days rest against Lolich on 2 days rest. Gibson throws 163 pitches complete game, and so does Lolich. Why the fuck can they not go 100 pitches now and they need 5 days rest when these pitchers in the World Series pitched on 2 days rest? And nobody could hit Gibson, and Lolich had this curveball or whatever. But what the fuck? So Koufax pitches on 2 days rest. Complete. You couldn't get Koufax out. 9 innings. Gibson, 9 innings. You never saw a reliever on a Gibson game. He'd tell the manager, fuck off, I'm not coming out. He said the catcher went, Tim McCarver went out, says, "You got a guy on second." He says, "Yeah, I know. Get the fuck off of here. I put him on second." I thought that was hilarious, but Cardinals had the team. It was all pitching, right? Koufax and Gibson and Drysdale and McLean and Lolich. And now you got what? We got, okay, maybe Scanes, and you got guys that can't hit 300. And now it's OPS, which means what? He got 10 hits, he got 9 home runs, and he's hitting 220, but his OPS is 900. Like, the fuck cares? The guy can't hit. Where are we at? Okay, kind of weird. Bobby's entitled. He's probably bored of baseball. Barry watches football too. He don't watch much baseball other than ESPN appearances, and he watches more basketball and football. Why is Barry watching basketball? Was he a LeBron fan? Basketball sucks, but we do like. Who's Barry's team in football? Is he an LSU guy too, or well, he went to Arizona State? I know Reggie Jackson went there. I think he went to Arizona State. Watch the gold silver price. It does nothing. Even when I played, I watched more football. Pirates are in the hunt for the first time since the early 90s. Baseball was my job but I love my football. I wonder if it's like that for porn stars. Do they like sex, or it's their job and they don't like sex as much because it's their job, and they'd they'd rather watch suspense movies or something, action movies. That's funny. But I hear you. It's like you wanting to work at Caesar's Palace. Yeah, it's nice when we vacation there, but do you want to work there? Probably not, because now it's work. Not you can relax and watch the games and drink and have some good food and shopping and watch the girls. So it's better to vacation than do that. Same thing in Amsterdam. Got to be funny there. But yeah, that's the problem with the job. It makes it very difficult to enjoy. That's why you got to love it. But I don't mind like teaching economics or football. It's not a job to me. It's the passion and it's what I enjoy. So it's not a job. So I don't mind doing it. And then watching football or the gold. That's why I watch like China now. I'm seeing them go because I'm interested in it, how it's going to help our gold. But the gold price does nothing. Hey, Luke. All right, let's see what our gold's doing at 8:00 now. $24.45, silver $28.50. So I don't know. Maybe we can get to 2,500 tomorrow. My bet will be 25.75 tomorrow, 25.80, somewhere in that neighborhood. But I hear you, Bobby. When it's your job, it's not fun. It's not pleasurable. So it's so that's the difference. You can't enjoy it. But see, that was the idea. You should have enjoyed it, and it shouldn't have been a job to you. Like I said, your only mistake was not getting paid in gold for your contract and getting paid in dollars. I am. You getting paid in gold now? Good man. There you go. That'll save you a ton. I was telling Luke earlier, I said that, the million in your first year now is worth 200,000. So you don't want to, you're getting still paid in dollars. You're not getting anything. Oh, I love football. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm surprised the typo from you, Bobby. Jesus. I've always liked football. I've watched it probably since I was 5, 6 years old. And but I like baseball early, but I can't get into it. And I can't get into basketball once Magic and Kareem and Dr. J and Bird and Isaiah left, and it's nothing to watch. Football, fortunately, we got Mahomes, keeps it going. But if I gotta watch Caleb and Lamar, I'll be turning on movies or something. Why do they think Lamar is so good and Caleb is rookie of the year without even playing it down? I mean, what is going on with these idiots? Mahomes is the man, and Burrow's the man junior. Those are the guys. And again, Mahomes doesn't get the credit. Everybody loves Lamar or Caleb. And why do they love Caleb? Caleb, because he wears nail polish? I don't know about that. He's going to struggle mightily. He'll throw a lot of interceptions because the defense knows he's going to throw to CJ Moore and they'll be all over him. And then maybe Keenan. The guy from Washington, Oduzzi, won't catch 10 passes. There's no way he's going to go to DJ Moore because DJ Moore in the huddle is going to say, look, motherfucker, I want the ball. And Caleb will be scared and give him the ball. That's what's going to happen. Oduzzi won't catch anything. That was a stupid draft pick. They needed a lot more than a third receiver. Yes, sir. I agree, Professor. I honestly think that Burrow will have the best season yet. Absolutely. He's pissed. He wants to get back to the Super Bowl, and he's the only one that can beat Mahomes. He beat him like 3 out of 4. So definitely look for that's why, man, I definitely like Burrow. I mean, they're going to kill New England the first week. That's a joke. New England's terrible. They don't have Belichick anymore. Their starting quarterback is Brissett. They have no offensive or defensive coordinators. They have no receivers. They have no defense because the defense was just a scheme by Belichick. Well, he's gone. The coach doesn't even know what he's doing. He's never coached before. They'd be lucky to win a game. It's them in Carolina for the first pick next year. Well, of course he's in LSU. I am praying that Jefferson leaves Minnesota and goes to Cincinnati. Can you imagine that team? Fuck T. Higgins, get him out of there and put in Chase and Jefferson for Burrow. They'll score 45 points a game in the pros. Nobody could possibly cover them, both, especially with these weak zones they play. Oh, it'd be a nightmare. Oh, I am so praying for that. 3 LSU guys together. So look for Cincinnati to be very strong this year, coming off the Burrow injury. And Baltimore better beware because Baltimore cheap shotted him with the wrist and landed on his wrist funny. So he's going to murder Baltimore. He did that a couple years ago. He murdered Baltimore. They won by like 30 points each game. So look for that to happen again. And once he gets up, what's Lamar going to do? He can't run because they're down 14. He's going to pass. That's another 3 interception game. We got Dak in a boot. What's Dak going to do? Even if he plays, he sucks. Are they going to go to Trey Lance? What is Trey Lance doing on Dallas? And what kills me is nobody drafted Hartman. He's on Washington. I don't even know if he's the backup there or not. Why would you take him? You got Daniels. You don't need Hartman. Why the fuck isn't Hartman on one of these teams? I mean, look at Minnesota doesn't have a quarterback. The Giants don't have a quarterback. Why aren't you getting Hartman? What are you, fucking crazy? Did you not see Hartman at Wake Forest go ballistic? Okay, at Notre Dame, but you can't really measure Notre Dame. I'm sure he had a good game against USC. Everybody else did. So he's a very good quarterback, and he doesn't get drafted. And what the fuck's going on there? He's not a running quarterback. Is that so? Look how many playoff games you won with Lamar? Oh, 2. How many you win with Mahomes? Like 20. And Mahomes is not a runner; he's a thrower. So Hartman is a excellent quarterback. This is a joke. I don't even understand it. Yeah, Jefferson career is over if he stays in Mini. Yeah, he'll get out of there. You think Prime can't win week one against Northern Illinois State, North Dakota State? We can tease that down to a pick 'em. Well, North Dakota State normally wins, but their coach moved on, so they got a new coach. Uh, I don't know. I have no idea of North Dakota State this year. Prime, I doubt we'll have a defense, so it's Prime Junior trying to throw the ball. North Dakota State always has a good defense, so I could see them. This is where North Dakota State gets up. How does Colorado get up for North Dakota State? But North Dakota State, this is their Super Bowl. So they could win. I don't know. I'm not touching the game, but yeah, I mean, they could win. Bobby, you've been buying any gold, silver the last 2 months? Good question, Luke. My guess is Bobby's been buying silver. Bobby, you don't buy that much gold, or do you already have a bunch of gold? I never hear you say you buy gold. You always buy the silver. 24.40. Look at gold's jumping. 24.46 now. Here we go. On their way to 24.50 to get to 25 tomorrow. I bought more silver. Silver is king. Yeah, but silver is still manipulated. The difference, Bobby, is gold goes up $50 and silver goes up 50 cents. You want some gold, but the problem is if you're thinking I'll trade 10 ounces of silver for an ounce of gold later, is can you find the gold? And will it go to, let's say it goes to 10-1. So gold's 20,000, silver's 2,000 an ounce. So I'm going to take my 10 ounces of silver to buy gold. Are you going to be able to find the gold? Because there's not going to be a lot of it. So just food for thought. Yeah, Schrader is going to try to raise his NFL draft value. Well, it doesn't matter. Isn't Prime going to be the coach of the Cowboys, and he's going to draft Prime Jr. as the quarterback? So it's like Little League where the dad's coaching so the son can play. Silver's king, nice. I will grab some gold at some point, though. Well, you better buy it quickly because, as we're saying, it's now over 2,500 an ounce. And the higher it goes, the more limited it's going to be tougher to find. However, you still have idiots selling it at this price because they think it's high. And I roll my eyes when I go into the store. The guy goes, "Why do they keep selling it?" I go, "Because they're idiots. They don't know." And we kind of laugh at it. And I'm like, I'm buying at this price. I'm selling it at 20,000, not 2,500. Jesus, what a low price. I am going off the professor advice. He said once gold goes up, silver will fall. Well, yeah, it will. Right now, it's more price fixed than gold because gold, you have to do delivery. So gold's breaking because all these central banks are buying gold. They're not buying silver. And the silver being bought is basically for industrial, for the solar panels and electric car batteries, not for the money. But that will come into play. And when it comes in, it'll be boom. Katie bar the door, as they say. Luke, it's all about percentage, Professor, with the silver versus gold. No, it's not. It's about the value. Okay, I get gold. Silver is going to go up from $30 to $100, and gold's going to go up from 2,500 to 2,800. So percentage-wise, silver is going to go up more. You want silver or gold? I'll take the gold. Thank you very much. I don't care about percentage. I care about value. And I bought silver, and I know it'll be 1,000 an ounce, but I know gold's going to be 20,000 an ounce. So what do I want to hold? What's a better hold? And silver, yes, all percentage wise, but That's a bullshit explanation. So how much silver do you got to buy at 30 an ounce? So when it goes to 1,000, you make a lot of money versus like I said, buy the gold and it's going to go up hundreds of dollars. So if you have 100 ounces of gold, like I said, at 2,500, when it goes to 3,000, that's $500 times 1,000 ounces is add three zeros to 500. You just made $500,000. Or in silver, I maybe made $20,000. So if it goes up, if it does the same thing and it goes from, let's say 50 to 100, and I got 1,000 ounces of silver at 50, it's $50,000, and now it's 100. So now it's worth double. So now it's worth 100,000. Geez, I kind of like the gold 500 a little better than the silver. But yeah, I mean, you're going to make money either way. The main point is you're out of this, as I say. Get off the boat. The water's coming in and it's sinking. So the keys get out of this. You go in either one, you're going to make a lot of money. So it doesn't really matter. But I just prefer a little more gold right now. I trust the professor. I don't watch the mainstream media bullshit. Thank you, Bobby. By the way, Professor, not to get political because that's not what we do here. What are your thoughts on the Trump assassination attempt? Crazy stuff. How Bobby Bowe is still not voting. Yeah, I won't vote either. It won't count. My thought is that George Soros is behind it, and Larry Fink. I think him and Jeffrey Epstein are both run by Israel. And George Soros is Jewish, but everybody hates him, and he's a Nazi who doesn't like Israel. So I think it's always about George Soros being behind it, right? He runs Fink. I don't know if he runs Israel. The shooter is purely a patsy. I mean, he had no idea what was going on. And Larry Fink was also behind it. And it's so obvious. Oh yeah, there's a shooter on the boat. Yeah, that's not paying attention to him. Why would you hire this shooter instead of like one of the Russian mafia who can shoot a deer in the ass from a mile away? So I don't know why they chose this idiot who can't shoot straight. I think Trump's an idiot because they didn't have enough Secret Service guys. So why are you going out there? Why are you trusting it? So at first I blame Trump because if it was me doing this speech and I know I need 20 Secret Service and you're only giving me 3 or 4, I'm calling up Russia and I'm getting KGB agents, FSB agents, and I'm going to pay them to guard me. And as soon as this idiot's out there, they take him out. They take him out an hour before. They see this guy roving around with the thing. They hesitate. They don't hesitate at all. So that was Trump's fault for not having the protection and listening to the Secret Service like he had no choice. And then I blame George Soros for the plan. And you had a guy who couldn't shoot straight. And Trump's extremely lucky to get alive. But it shows you how corrupt everything is. The FBI is covering it up. The Secret Service covering up. The Secret Service director, how did she get her job? She fucking works at Doritos and Pepsi, and you want her for Secret Service director. And then the other guy who runs her boss, that real asshole who's fucking up the border, Mayorkas. I mean, what's he doing there? Why isn't he fired? Why isn't anybody firing anybody here? So I think it was totally planned. The Secret Service laid down, let him do it, thought he'd kill him. And it was a joke. I mean, it was such an obvious plan, and Trump's an idiot for trusting 2 women Secret Service who were 2 feet tall and not having enough and nobody guarding that building, and they let the guy get up and they didn't take him out. Why didn't they take him out? The snipers saw the guy before he shot. Why didn't they take him out? He's got a gun on the thing. No, no, no. We can't fire yet. Wait till he hits Trump, then fire. Then we won't have any loose ends. I mean, basically, that's what it was. This was the worst and stupidest thing since JFK, which was incredibly obvious that was CIA, and this it wasn't the Russians. They wouldn't have missed. So that's all I can say. Trump's an idiot. I wouldn't trust anybody in the government. And if I was president, all my security would be Russian, and I'd be sleeping like a baby. I'd be very safe. They don't fuck around. I love the class. Thank you, Bobby. Well, yeah, you've been missed. We missed you. We wondered what. You never know. I mean, it's tough, but we'll be doing class. So by the football picks, I'll be doing the football class Wednesday, and then maybe Friday night a little, and Sunday. In the college class, I'll be doing Friday, Saturday morning. And then I'll be doing briefly this class on, economics. But for football, I'll be going over the games on Monday. We'll walk through the games and the box scores. And that'll be it. And maybe a little on Tuesday, going through the opening lines. Trump will go to gold standard. God, I hope so, Luke. Then you'll like him. I don't like Trump because I don't like his style. It's not political. Biden, we saw he had a double, right? The guy's pulling his mask down. I don't like these elitists and these globalists like Zuckerberg. He's not worth anything. It's just his stock's so expensive. Otherwise, he's worthless. He's nothing. He didn't do all he does is steal information and sell it. Wow, what a great business model. There was MySpace, and now he does Facebook. Well, what's the difference? There's no difference, except for he collects data and sells it. What the fuck is this guy doing here? And Gates and these guys, and you got George Soros running this thing, and Larry Fink, all these scumbags running, trying to do everything. And I think that's the problem is Facebook's worldwide. You got Facebook in China, and I know it's in Russia and Ukraine. And so Zuckerberg makes money globally now, so he thinks different than the US. GM would make the product and try to sell it. I don't like Trump for trying to do tariffs because we know it happened in 1929 with the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act that caused the fucking stock market to crash. The FDR caused the depression by government spending and government programs because his chief of treasury was fucking Keynes, the biggest socialist in the world, and he hires him, and then we become socialist. And we all know how that went. Oh, yeah, we had a depression for 1932 to 1945. We had a 13-year depression because of fucking Keynes and his socialist programs. And we get stuck with income tax and Social Security because of these idiots in charge. So, yeah, I'm not too happy with any of that shit. So classes every day during football season. No, there's going to be a football class. So it's $25 for pro, $25 for college. And then the pro will be Wednesday night because of the Thursday night game. And then probably Friday and then Sunday morning. The college, if there's college games, I'll probably touch base on them on the pro class on Wednesday, just the one or two games. And then it'll be Friday night will be college because of all the Saturday games. And then we'll do Saturday morning to go over line changes and injuries that we find out. And then we'll do a Monday to recap and Tuesday. But those will be regular classes. And then because what I'm doing is that I'm not giving the picks in free. I'm giving the picks in class. So you'll need to be in a class to get the picks. Or you go on Teaserking and buy the picks on the website, and then you'll get the picks that way. But yeah, we'll do class every day. Trump will go to gold standard, then you'll like, okay. Okay. We need professor for president. Thank you, Bobby Bo. The real D, you're back. You doing class different this year for football season? Well, like I said, I'm for the picks, you'll have to pay for the class $25 pro, $25 college, or go and just buy them on the site. But like I said, Monday and Tuesday we'll recap everything and we'll look at the lines for next week. But I won't be giving picks only in the classes on YouTube. Will I be giving the picks? So it's 25, which I made very small, but this way the people that are buying the picks are getting like, well, why are you giving them away? So they're right. So that's the impetus on it. So just $25 is nothing. And then we'll walk through the picks like we did last year and like we do with baseball now. One for NFL, one for college. So simple like that. You pay, I'll get your email, and then I'll put in the email, and this will be a private class, and then you'll put in your email. I'll put it in, allowing these people to watch it, and we'll go from there. That's all. Good night, guys. Heading for some shrimp scampi. Good to see you, Bobby. Night, Luke. Take care. When are we coming? When are you coming to Detroit? Capital Grilling. 3,000 is probably by September, and we will see. So anyway, good night, Luke. I'm about ready to go too, so I can eat my dinner, and I got to study for my class tomorrow. My interview is 9 to 9:30. Fortunately, I set my alarm for 7:45, so I keep that going, and then so I'm up like today. I went to the Social Security today. The other day, I did something. I had something early. I cleaned the apartment. Like today, I cleaned the car. There's a car wash that is free, but you're supposed to get the car wash. But I forget to get the car wash. But I vacuum. The car gets so, I don't know what I bring into my feet. My God, all the pebbles and stuff and all the food that misses my mouth in the car. So it was good to vacuum it up. Now I probably have to dust it and do all that. Thanks, Professor. Good luck on the class. Thank you. Appreciate it. What time is class tomorrow? You're welcome, Real D. Tomorrow is Friday, so I want to watch Mark McGuire in the morning, and then I probably will go swim at 11:30, probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock, I think, Bobby. Wish me luck on my free play under first field goal. Good luck, Bobby. I hope you hammer. The under 38.5, it'll never get there. The only way I remember unders and overs are based on quarterbacks. And since neither team has a quarterback that's an NFL type, even though the defense sucks, it's still easier to play defense. So this game will be 10-0 or something. Okay, Bobby. Well, I look forward. I'm glad you're back, and I missed you. And we will see you tomorrow. And we'll go from there. We'll talk gold a little bit more and our football stuff. All right. Thank you, Bobby Bo. All right. So good night, everybody. www.teaserking.com. And really nothing there. Baseball I've given you. It's probably too late to go through them again. I had Cleveland, Kansas City, and the Cubs under 8 today in baseball. There's only 5 games. Okay. Thank you, Bobby. All right. Have a nice night, everybody. Take care.